Going skydiving and refusing to open the parachute, parentheses, not clickbait.
Peter, open your chute. Nuh-uh. The fuck you
mean? I've decided to become one with the ground.
Creeper. Aw, man.
So we back in the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm Alina.
I was uninformed of the exact nature of this intro.
I did that on purpose.
And welcome to our lovely little Pepsi void.
Welcome to our new Minecraft YouTube channel.
No. I was on Twitter a few months ago. I don't want to be involved with that crowd at the moment. But speaking of,
why is it so cursed? Why?
I don't know. I don't know why. Why did they do this? Not today's topic. Today's topic is loosely related to those individuals before they were called out on their poor behavior. Today's topic is Minecraft. Specifically, why do people keep making stories using Minecraft? Now, I feel like there's a pretty obvious answer to this, that being that Minecraft is technically a sandbox game and you can do whatever the fuck you want in it, which makes it easy for people to do whatever the fuck they want in it. But it's interesting because there are other games that are also sandbox games, but nobody does stories really in them in such huge swaths as they have with Minecraft, which is interesting to me. And not as intricate either. Because, like,
I've definitely seen some people do, like, Rust roleplay, but it's never been nearly as popular as Minecraft roleplay has been.
Yeah.
In part because Rust it hurts physically to play.
Yeah.
It harms the soul.
Well, for one, Minecraft is extraordinarily popular. Has been since before story time even existed.
That is true.
Yeah.
And
congratulations on being correct.
And the other reason I'm pretty sure substantially is Minecraft gameplay is close enough to real life, but far enough removed, and with its own, intricacies that you can weave them into storytelling pretty easily.
I do think that is true, because the thing about most other sandbox games is that most other sandbox games are also survival games, and they lean far more heavily into the survival angle than Minecraft does.
Yeah.
Like Rust.
Like Rust. Yeah, it's Minecraft is a survival game, but it's a very leisure survival game if you choose
it's
to
really
make
only
it
a
so.
survival game until you get to like stone tools.
Yeah. Once you actually have like a house and a bed and stuff, it's just like, oh no, it's nighttime, the monsters honk shoo. There's no more monsters anyway. I'm gonna go back to farming or something. for any
the only thing Alina does in Minecraft is farm, and the only thing I do in Minecraft is dig giant holes in the ground.
We make a great pair. I throw the food down the hole.
We make a great team.
Yeah, I throw the food down the hole. You throw the minerals up the hole. It's great process.
laboriously walk back up the hole
I wish you could
to
make a,
hand you the mineral.
I wish you could make a catapult and just fucking launch it. Just fucking
And that
launch
brings us
yourself.
to another reason. Minecraft is so mod compatible.
Oh god, yes.
There are so many Minecraft mods, so if you want to tell a story that escapes the scope of Minecraft as it is, you can so easily add things onto it with minimal difficulty.
Yeah, not only is there a mod for basically everything, if there isn't for what you're looking for, Minecraft mods aren't that difficult to make. So long as you have a surface level understanding of like programming in general, making a Minecraft mod really just ends up being a matter of trial and error.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're writing it in Java, which you have to a lot of the time.
Let's make
Mhm.
a Minecraft mod. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it.
Yeah. Programming is just gambling for computer people, I guess.
Man, no wonder I hate doing it. Anyway. um. Yeah. Mods make that a thing more.
It's just really appealing to make stories in, because not only is it like the survival experience much easier, so I mean, unless you're playing hardcore where you die forever, but most people don't do that.
Die in the game, you die in real life.
uh, so the survival experience is generally a little lighter than it is in a lot of other sandboxy games, but it's also like it's it's Minecraft. It reached such an incredible level of prevalence that the majority of people who have a computer and an internet connection can run Minecraft or already have it. It is an incredibly low barrier to entry,
Yeah.
both in terms of like the gameplay mechanics, and also having the game itself, because so many people already have Minecraft.
Yeah. I guess another aspect of it is in terms of like palatability I'm gonna die. Palatability of content, right? Is that like a lot of other survival games are also more catered towards adults. So you know, when you kill the chicken, blood goes everywhere, and then you have to
And you pick up
skin
the
it.
chicken corpse,
Yeah,
and you
you
gotta.
skin it and do all this stuff. Whereas in Minecraft, it just goes poof, and you get like a raw chicken and a feather. Like you know, it's not only more friendly towards like most streaming platform guidelines, but it's also just more friendly to a broader audience, right? So if you're making one of these with the perspective of I want to get as many viewers as possible, then yeah, Minecraft's probably the way to go.
Absolutely. I really don't think that's why this like whole genre thing started in the first place. We're gonna go back. Everyone, come hold my hand. We're going back in
Oh
time to the
no.
year 2008.
I can't hold your hand, it's under your arm.
That's okay. Let me take
I
a
can
nap
grab one of your
here.
little fingies there.
Everybody gently touch one of my fingies and come back in time with me to 2008. Maybe 2012. Oof, I sure can't remember the exact year. Time's pretty soupy in these parts.
Okay.
Now I know this was not necessarily the first Minecraft story thing inherently, but it is one of the older ones that got really popular. That's right, everybody. It's The Shadow of Israfel by the Yogscast.
I don't know about this one.
This is all you.
Exactly.
This is all you.
I know.
You have fun.
A little story time. Fun fact about me: when I was a kid, I was actually kind of afraid of Herobrine.
Oh, is it one of those?
No, it isn't. No.
Oh,
This is how I found it. So I was looking up Herobrine stuff because I was a little deranged and liked scaring myself. Uh,
I know how to get rid of this fear. Exposure therapy looks up Harrowbine.
I was trying to assuage my fears that he wasn't like a real ghost and was just a myth, which he is. But I was a kid, so
Yeah.
Imagination is
and
the true mind killer.
and I found I think it was on like a villains wiki or something, like villains wikia or some shit like that. And it was no, maybe it was something. There's some other website like comparing Herobrine and Israfel, and I was like, who the fuck is Israfel? So then I looked him up and I started watching The Shadow of Israfel by the Yogscast.
The shadow. Okay.
A series that's well over 10 years old at this point.
Is it in 720p?
Oh boy. This was pretty near to the Yogscast's like beginning of popularity. So, um, I can't remember if it's in 720p. It might be. It might be in 480. I don't know. I
know.
did watch it on my iPod, so it's not like I had access to high resolution video.
Yeah, I just know that at that time on YouTube, at least, the
Yeah,
720
there
was
was
kind
no
of the
1080.
limit.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
It was also back in the day where it's like you had to become a YouTube partner before you could upload videos that were over 10 minutes long.
oh my god, oh my god, wow, yeah, that is old.
Truly ancient times.
Truly ancient times.
But yeah, it's a pretty long series and it's in some of Minecraft's like earlier stages, obviously being over 10 years old. Um like partway through it, I think the adventure update comes out, so they do then from that point on have a hunger bar, which yeah, a significant chunk of the series takes place before Minecraft had a hunger bar.
Wow.
A huge chunk of it takes place before the Nether could work in multiplayer.
Oh my god.
Wait, there was a time where it didn't work in multiplayer.
Yes, yeah. So Shadow of Israfel spins off the Yogscast's initial Minecraft survival series, um, where it was Simon and Lewis, and they were just playing Minecraft. They're just fucking around. Um,
Were they finding out?
and then they concluded that series at some point. They did a Survival Island series, and then uh, specifically, I think they're yeah, if I recall correctly, it's been a while. It's been a while for me since I actually like did all this. Uh, their normal Minecraft survival series ends with like plot happening where like they go to a town and see village people, not villagers as they are as they exist in Minecraft now, but like they basically got some of their other friends and other people they knew to like essentially like play as characters and communicate using text chat.
Hmm.
Uh, and they do this whole little plot at the end with like a village and like the son of a guy there being dead, and that's Israfel, and then Israfel resurrects and starts doing like crazy shit. Uh, and this is around the time that like Herobrine is starting to get popular as well. I think maybe the rumors beginning. Uh, maybe it's already popular. I can't quite recall the timeline. And they go through one of the infamous like Herobrine tunnels that people said exists. The ones where it is a 3-block high, 1-block wide tunnel, lit by redstone torches, and they follow it all the way back to their home base, but they find another portal, and then that ends, and then they do the survival island, and then the Shadow of Israfel begins with them returning back to their home base, and the other place, their normal world, being ferried on an airship by a guy called Skylord. It's it's neat. The airship is not modded in. They just did some like fucking creative mode UI turned off camera tricks to make it look like it was moving. They try to use another.
Minecraft stop motion days.
Basically,
Ignore the
they try to use the Nether
strings.
portal after they get back, but Nether doesn't work in multiplayer. So they're like, "Oh, it must be preventing us from getting in somehow," and then a whole fucking plot happens. Um, Shadow of Israfel is really long, has a lot of original plot in it, and infamously did not end. Um, the series just stops partway through. They just stopped making it. Um, and they did other stuff. The Oxcast for a long time after did continue to do various uh various Minecraft role playing stuff, but it was all also like within the skein of a more normal playthrough. Like one of their other really well-known series that came after this was the Jaffa Factory, where they're playing Tekkit. They're playing modded Minecraft. They're playing Tekkit, and they're the fucking agree. This is after they became like almost like a multi-channel network. So you have like multiple different Yogscast channels that are Yogscast name. Uh, uh, and you have like a group of them, and they're trying to make like a factory within the world to make Jaffa cakes. But then like also some plot happens where they have a rival company in the form of like some of their other friends in their Yogscast channels. Um, and it's all I don't know. It just seems very fun. There's very much an aura of like these guys are just fucking around and having a good time. And when they want to do like a plot arc, they come up with some bullshit. Whereas Shadow of Israfel before that was, I think, largely scripted, but not by the two people we see it from the perspective. We see Shadow of Israfel from the perspective of Simon and Lewis, who are like, the two people who like started the Yogs cast essentially. Um, and them and a few others whose names I currently forget because it's been a long time for me. I'm sorry, internet people.
It's okay, they'll angrily tell you in the comments, like, how could you forget? How could you forget them? Ah!
Um,
No dementia
it's all.
allowed.
I think the things of Shadow of Israfel were like built by their friends in the background, and then like the two of them, someone else would go through them. So like their reactions to things were genuine because they didn't know what was going to happen. But
Got it.
their friends had like lines and things and giant structures they had built.
Nice.
So Shadow of Israel was a lot more scripted, but then like the series that they did afterwards did have like plot arcs and things to them. But it's more like it became more like a guideline where it's like this is the thing that we want to do because we think it would be funny or fun or whatever. And how we get there will fully depend on the fucking improvisation between us all.
We'll get there somehow.
Yogscast channels were really big, especially they are UK based, so they were really big, especially in the UK. A lot of obviously YouTube's algorithm has kind of always been sectioned off, so stuff that's big in other countries is not big in not places that aren't those countries. Um,
Well, Alexas was very popular.
especially in
much
the UK.
all over on just all of YouTube and sentence, I think.
On just all of YouTube, but they were. I had seen like multiple people on UK YouTube complaining that like I just want to look at my fucking recommended page without seeing a Yogscast video because I'm not interested in them, but YouTube keeps showing it to me.
Oh, oh, you're British? Yogscast? No. Oh.
And so if you're wondering why sometimes I use some Britishisms, it's because I watched the Yogscast as a child.
You have a classic case of Yogscastitis.
Yeah, it's terminal.
It's terminal.
And I would have loved to talk about like some of the other earlier Minecraft story stuff. I know Afmao, I think her name is /was/is. I don't know if she's still active.
No, there's only one way to find out.
Did a lot of like Minecraft like roleplay story stuff, but I didn't watch any of it, so I don't know what that's like at all. Oh yeah, so Shadow. Sorry, I looked it up because I wanted to be clear. Shadow of Israel started 13 years ago.
Wow.
So
That's
2011.
older than an
I was.
unfortunately high section of the internet.
The internet's always like mostly like tweens and teens.
I know, I just don't like that.
I just don't.
Yeah, Shadow of Israel and also their original survival series, I think, both are over 13 years ago. Probably over 13 years ago because of how YouTube counts the dates. So yeah, it's pretty old. Especially it's very old for the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I believe at that time Minecraft was like nowhere near the state that it's in now. In
God.
like 2011, what was the update in 2011? What were they doing?
Apparently
I don't
adding
know.
food.
Well, no, they had food before the hunger update. It just healed you
They
directly.
did have food before though. Yeah, they did have food before the hunger update.
Nah. That's a health pack disguised as a chicken.
I mean, it was.
Is that what added? No, that's not what added the Nether. Surely not. No, it is what added the end though. Adventure update, which is you might note 1.0 of Minecraft. So I'm pretty sure. I think the Yogscast started their series on the Minecraft beta, on the
Oh my
Minecraft open
God.
beta. Is how old the series is, and then moved to the full release later.
Damn. That's old as hell.
Yeah. Which update added hunger? Because I remember a distinct point in the series where they suddenly have hunger bars and they're like, "Yeah, we gotta eat now." So yeah, they started doing it on the fucking Minecraft beta
Damn.
and kept going for a long time.
Nice.
And there were several mods. There were several mods that were included in this fucking thing. There's the point where they do get like working airships, or they get boats that fly. They get boats that fly. They're not like airships. They get boats that fly. And I saw that and I'm thinking like, there's no way that's an early Minecraft feature that got axed out. That is a mod. They modded that in. So it's like ever since before it fully released, even Minecraft has had a colossal modding community and stories being told in it and all this fucking shit going on.
Yeah, I guess it has. I wasn't privy to that, but you know. Cool.
That's why I'm here.
That's why I'm digging deep into the lore pile.
Now let me tell you the whole plot of Shadow of Israel as it existed.
Oh dear God.
I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we have other Minecraft RPs to cover instead.
Like that one.
Like that one.
But we're not there yet.
Ominous shadow looming in the distance. No, the Yogscast did keep doing stories in Minecraft, and not even just Simon and Lewis, other people who were in the Yogscast. Because, like I said, it became like basically a multi-channel network at some point.
Mhm.
That's probably not even where Minecraft story things began.
No,
There
definitely not.
almost were definitely
It was
people doing it before then. That's just the earliest, very popular example I can think of.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Here, maybe I can look
because
at this.
Minecraft is just a blank slate in terms of story. So and there's so much things you can actually do in it. It's basically just asking to have stories be told through it.
I mean, fuck. If we want to count it, you could probably count Herobrine as one of the earliest stories told in Minecraft.
I'm yeah, I mean it's not the same sort of like role play with your friends based story,
It's
but
closer to
like
an ARG.
yeah. Yeah, it's much closer to an ARG
I mean, yeah,
story,
but
but
like,
that's still technically telling a story through a game. Um
Yeah,
yeah, and I think it's important to remember when we're talking about the earlier stages of it as well. This was like 2009 to 2011, right?
mhm.
And so, like, even though YouTube was taking off, there were still a lot of people who like straight up did not have access to any kind of recording anything. People were using fucking Skype to talk over the internet then.
I remember that.
don't remind
Yeah.
me.
And I know that in the early stages, Simon and Lewis recorded their thing literally in the same room into the same fucking toaster microphone.
Oh my god.
The audio is shit. If you want to go and watch Shadow of Israfel, I won't stop you, but you need to be prepared. It is absolutely from 2011.
Like it's like watching the first like season of Red versus Blue. It's just like, man,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I watched this way back when and I know what they're saying because I know the jokes. Because I would not know otherwise. but but yeah, Herobrine's a good example of that, and yeah, Herobrine I guess is more like a narrative tool in my mind because it's like
But that's absolutely what he exploded into, yeah.
yeah, because like it as little as I remember it, I do remember at some point watching a Minecraft roleplay story that was centered around Herobrine, made by two lads, and I don't think it was the Yogscast because I'm pretty sure I would remember that it was just some random
Well, they'd be British.
teenagers,
If
but
they were, if it was the Yogs cast, you'd know because they would be British.
they sure weren't. I remember that. American. um, I remember multiple role playing Minecraft stories where it was just like, who's the main bad guy? Herobrine.
It was
Because
easy.
it was easy. It was real easy. Well, it's just because and it wasn't just easy because it's like, oh, it's Herobrine. Everyone knows Herobrine, but it's because like Herobrine was so vague.
Herobrine can be whatever you need him to be.
Yeah, and so people just took him and his vague little concepts and fucking ran with it. And you know, I don't blame them. That's what most people do with
Herobrine,
creepypastas.
Herobrine's the main bad guy of the fucking. No, he isn't. I mean, he is, but he isn't. Herobrine's the bad guy of fucking Fallen Kingdom Part 2. Y'all remember that?
You just, oh my god, yeah. That's,
You've got like 3 different songs by Try Hard Ninja. Animation done in part by Captain Sparkles. Was it 3 parts or 4 parts?
I
I
don't
think it was
know.
4 actually.
Here, I'll
Yeah, it was
look
4.
up. Oh, okay. You looked it up.
And in the second one, Herobrine's the bad guy. That's Take Back the Night.
Oh my gosh. That's so good.
That's a story, technically. Those music videos.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they were.
I don't know how much longer we can put off talking about the DSMP.
No, just shut up.
We do not speak its name, not yet.
You'll summon them.
Summon them. Okay. They're going into more newer SMPs. There is a sort of subset that focuses more on singular mods, or mod packs, right? So, for example, the Origins SMP, not as popular as that one, but
As that one.
yeah, but you know, it had a lot of the same people in it. And it was entirely based on the Origins mod, which, if you don't know what the Origins mod is, it's one of my favorite Minecraft mods, where it basically just takes elements from different creatures that are in the game and makes them abilities that you can choose at the start of the game. So if you wanted to be, I don't know, let's say your name's Charlie Slimesicle and you wanted to be a slime, you could do that. If you wanted to have the ability to teleport like an Enderman, but now you can't touch water and stuff, you could pick an Enderman, and it has all this kind of stuff like that. And so they did a role play that was entirely based upon this mod, and it was moderately successful. I didn't watch it so much. Mostly because every time I did, I just want kind of like, wow, I want to go play the mod now. Instead of,
Wow, I sure do like the Origins mod. Would
yeah,
love to play it.
yeah, love to do that. Anyway, but you know, it was fairly popular, and to my knowledge, I don't think they added any other mods to it. I think it was literally just the Origins mod that it was based on. I know the Origins mod had extensions that they added to it, but it was still all just the Origins mod.
Mm.
The mod of
Yeah,
Origins.
and they and that one mod alone changed the narrative enough to where it made it interesting. Like, I think one of the funniest parts is in the very beginning when I don't remember which one of them it was, but somebody was like, "I'll be a blazer." Uh, I'll be one of those things you get the fucking fire rods from, and and fun fact: if you pick that one, you spawn in the Nether. So this guy picks this option from the Origins mod, and then he's just like, "Why am I in the Nether? Oh god!" He's fucking panicking. And you know, so and then there was somebody who had picked like I don't know, fish, so that they couldn't be out of water. So like when everybody built their houses, they made like these like water tunnels so this person could come say hi.
I remember when we played Origins, and I picked Inchling.
I remember when I picked the dragon and burned a barn down. That was funny.
I sure did take Enderling because in real life I'm like a cat and don't like to get wet.
Fair enough. But yeah, that's one that I know of. That sort of was like, we just have the one mod and we're sticking with the one mod. We're not adding any more.
I mean, it's a good single mod to have.
It is. I mean, it adds a lot of stuff for being just one mod, because usually when you want to add a lot more dynamic stuff to Minecraft, you need like a mod pack. You need like a farming mod and a mining mod and all this other stuff. You need to cram them all into a pack. But like with Origins mod, it's got so many different options and like experiences for you to try that and all of them have varying amounts of difficulty attached to them, that like it just makes the game all that more interesting by itself, which makes it a very easy mod to make a roleplay story with.
I think that's a good point, because I think that also is kind of a thing that the Yogscast did post Shadow of Israel and their other stuff. I know I'm going back in time again. Don't worry about it.
We're rubber banding everywhere.
It
The timeline
just
is going
reminded me. Like, yeah, the series that they did afterwards, I think, was one that was done entirely in Tekkit. But um afterwards, in a lot of the series done by a variety of different Yogscast channels, it did focus on like an individual mod in a mod pack, or a specific set of mods that all works together in a mod pack. Like, I know the series that Duncan was doing at the same time as Jaffa Factory focused a lot on the thaumaturgy mod that was in that version of Tekkit, and not a whole lot else. So it's and they did that again later. Like, they did a series called Moon Quest, where it is almost entirely just Galacticraft. They had several other mods in there, but the main focus was Galacticraft and getting to the fucking moon. Then a whole bunch of other stuff happened, but like,
Yeah. Oh, what was that one? Earth SMP?
Earth SMP, the one
Yeah.
where they were conquering each other.
Yeah, the one where it was basically just Earth, and then they were
Yeah,
all conquering each other, and like, Technoblade 1 or something.
I
I
I
didn't
don't
watch that
remember
one
if
at
you won or if you
all.
almost won.
I can't. All I know is there was a plane involved.
I do think that was SMP Earth.
Yeah, that was SMP Earth. That's what SMP Earth, not Earth SMP. But yeah, there was that one, which I think was basically the predecessor to that one.
How much longer can we go without addressing the
I
fucking
don't.
horse lingering in our doorway?
I hate to break it to you, Cole, but
Cole, the horse is here.
I've run out of ones to talk about that are not that
The
it
horse.
one. The horse. So I think
The
it's
horse.
about time we open the can of worms.
When did the horse become a can of worms?
I don't know, but it's terrifying all the same.
You should take a look in that horse's mouth. We have no other option.
And the
Peter,
horse's mouth is a
The
can.
horse is here.
Hmm. Yeah, we're gonna open
It
the
has
horse.
arrived.
It has arrived. All right, we put it off long enough. The Dream SMP.
The Dream SMP.
The Dream SMP has to be one of the most well-known Minecraft roleplay stories in existence, whether you watched it, didn't watch it, love it, hate it, used to love it, but now hate it due to recent events with some of the people who were involved.
Dream SMP is, I would say, I would amend your statement a little bit. It is the most popular of people who are 5, 7, 10 years younger than us.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean most popular as in like most watched. I mean like most people know, at least who are on the
Yeah.
internet, what you mean when you say Dream SMP, at least to some extent.
And
Right?
unfortunately, not everyone did watch the Yogscast.
Oh, yeah,
Don't
so
laugh.
the Dream SMP is a bit of a behemoth. It's I suppose it was the inevitability of this train of thought.
Yeah. We can't talk about stories in Minecraft. No, we could do. We could talk about Minecraft story mode instead.
No, that's a different topic.
God, no, that's
You're right. Oh, you're right. It is.
No, get it out of here. We're
I
not
forgot.
doing it yet.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
None of that.
poach our future episode.
How dare you?
I'm
How
stealing from our
fucking
future
dare you.
self.
Anyway.
Steal from the future to give to the past. It's my whole MO.
So far you've pulled us into the past to shove it into the future. What do you mean? So the Dream SMP. Okay. The Dream SMP started as just Dream and his friends just sort of streaming a game of Minecraft and just sort of chilling out. And then Dream made the horrific mistake or had the brilliant idea, depending on who you ask, to just bring in everybody. Just bring in everybody. I don't know if it is physically possible for one person to sit down and watch every single second of recorded footage of the Dream SMP because there were so many people streaming it all at once, all the time.
Yeah.
It is so complicated of a narrative that I wouldn't even call it a singular narrative. It's there's the A plot and then the B plot and then the C plot and then the D plot and the E and the F and the G and it goes all the way down to Z and like half of those don't connect.
The thing there is like a narrative thorough line because there are the plots that that people got the most interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a million different other things going on all at once, and many of them involve some of the same people.
Yeah. It's listen, as someone who has been part of a roleplay myself for years of my life, this sort of stuff is okay when you're like just having a fun time with your friends and role playing, but when you're trying to make an actual narrative for an audience, which the Dream SMP turned into that early on, this is a lot. This is a lot. Like there is the main storyline and it is arguable that you could just pick one or two streamers and just watch them and in that way you make it a manageable thing, but if you are someone who wants to know the whole picture, good luck. Because
Good fucking luck.
that's gonna take your whole damn life.
You didn't want to have any free time, did you?
Yeah. Like, as much as I want to talk about the plot, like, there's just so much plot. I don't even think I can.
I feel so bad for the future historians that have to go through internet culture around this time and they stumble upon the Dream SMP and are like, holy shit! There was a whole ass empire here!
Peter, that is assuming that like any of this era survives that far into the future and all the records of the Dream SMP don't like decay into hard drive and link rot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that's a funny scenario to think about.
Clicks on the first video. What is this? It's a 50 videos in, the corkboard slowly appears in the background. I need no more. I need no more. What's going on here? It's like 1,000 videos in, and there's red lines everywhere. I just need the lore. I need the lore.
Yeah, you've got a whole fucking team on it trying to
Yeah.
decipher the SMP.
You need it.
Yeah. Okay, here's a fun exercise we can do, maybe call name a trope that appears in the Dream SMP.
Just one?
You can be a couple.
Okay.
Could be a few. I don't know. I just want to see. I just want to see. Because I know
Okay.
you are the trope master of our
Yeah, thank
group.
you. Oh god, I have to try and remember a plot arc. Give me a fucking minute. Oh. Oh. I don't know, man.
Can I help?
Please.
What? Okay. What what sort of character trope would you say Technoblade
Oh,
is?
technically, the character of Technoblade
The
as he
character.
exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. uh, that is, uh, I would say one of the main character tropes that Technoblade ends up having as a character within the Dream SMP is he's definitely a sort of Beastmaster guy. He has a million fucking dogs.
Yes, he's the army of dogs.
I mean, and there's obviously Blood Knight as well. That's kind of his whole deal.
Yeah. Could
Uh,
okay.
he does kind of lean on the fourth wall a lot as well.
He does. I mean, yeah, he does actually do, because with the bell ringing and everything, just in the middle of narratives happening.
There's a lot of potential here. You
Yeah.
can the thing with the Dream SMP that makes analyzing it kind of annoying is boy oh boy is there very little like cohesive characterization so much of the time because you're bounding between moments that have been vaguely written in advance, um, where it's like, hey, this is an event that we're planning to do, and like, so like have in mind like how your character version of yourself would react to these things,
Mm.
um, and also like sheer improvised moments where they're just riffing, and also between all of that, just normal Minecraft Let's Play bits.
Yeah.
So it's not that the characters are inherently inconsistent. It's that there are moments where the streamers are not in character in that moment,
Yeah.
or they aren't doing things that like are actually representative of their character, and that distinguishing between th- those moments is kind of hard sometimes because a lot of their characters are iterations of themselves. That is how it began, right?
Yeah. I think that also doesn't help with the Dream SMP specifically, because it's like because the characters are essentially them, they're just like slightly different than them. It can be hard to discern, especially considering their audience was like children. It can be hard to discern what is character and what is person. um
If there even is a difference a lot of the time.
I think there is. It's just that like a lot of the time it's not really apparent until something big happens in the story. Cause until then, like, there's no important decisions being made. There's no like big statements or anything. They're just existing.
Uh, yeah, their character versions are oftentimes a bit different from themselves, but that comes later because the initial plot arcs that happen are just like essentially a dramatization. It is they basically kind of faked server drama.
Yeah.
for views and clicks, which is fine. Because you can tell even then that like yes, this is a performance.
Yeah. I mean, like, what's reality TV, right?
Yeah,
It's essentially the same idea. It's like, okay, I like the whole idea of this moment is that I am upset at this person, and normally this would be dealt with just in a civil conversation. But because it's a TV drama, we have to start screaming at each other and throwing things and doing all this stuff because then people are gonna go, whoa, that's crazy, and keep watching. And it's I mean so yeah, no, I don't blame him at all. That's been a thing in media for ever.
like their character selves do begin as essentially as themselves, and then as it progresses, become more so characters with their same names and vague appearances.
Yeah, I think the turning point specifically was when Wilbur joined. Um,
I
which
mean, yeah, to be honest, you have a Minecraft server with Wilbur in it. There was going to be a plot.
yeah, yeah, and so he joined, and then I think the whole starting point of fucking Lemanberg or whatever the fuck it's called.
That is what it's called, I
Okay,
think. Yeah.
good. Yeah, Lemanberg. Was like they had a fucking drug van, and Dream and his pals were like, "You can't do that," and Wilbur's like, "That's it. I'm revolting," and then made a declaration of war, and then they did like the other issue with the Dream SMP is that like you said, it started with it just being themselves. And so a lot of the early roleplay stuff is just is extremely nonsensical.
Yeah.
It's like all of the development that has happened to Lemanberg slash Manberg since its initial existence is way more thought out and you know it better done than it was initially, which was, but I want my drug van though.
Yeah.
Which that was it. Like it eventually got to political corruption, what happens when you vote into someone that turns out to be a bad person, oh crap, I want my country back from that, and it's a bunch of stuff, and we'll team up with the anarchist, and that won't go horribly wrong, we swear. you know um
Guys, come on. Let's get the anarchist on our team in order to like reclaim our country. Definitely won't try and dissolve our country.
yeah, totally not. um Technoblade was great. Technoblade was great. I did. I do admit I watched the Dream SMP, but I watched it entirely from Technoblade's perspective and no one else. And I regret nothing.
Here's the thing, and Leon and I share an opinion on this. Um, we don't inherently dislike at least the style of most of the other people. It's just they're all so loud. They're very loud.
Technoblade is A lot calmer than all of the other streamers, and B really fucking good at the game.
I just jive with his humor a lot more, basically.
I'm this is going somewhere. Cole, you remember how we watched
Okay,
the entirety of Beyblade?
I do.
You remember how Ryuga
How
became
could
the
I
best
forget?
character except for the
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I like Technoblade. Same, it's the same idea. It's just this guy shows up and he's like, I'm better than all of you.
And he's not lying.
And then he
It's
wrecks
not a
everyone's
bluff.
shit. And then he leaves. And it's like, I don't know what the trope is called, but that's my favorite fucking thing.
The thing that's
Fucking
called when
world.
that's like a boss fight in a video game is giant space flea from nowhere. Sort of. That's not actually at all what this is. Giant space flea from nowhere is when you get to the end of a dungeon and instead of fighting a boss that's meaningful to the plot, you fight like this giant rat or whatever. It has no connection to anything else. Guy just showing up, kicking your ass, and then leaving does have a name. I do not recall it at the moment.
I'm gonna look it up then.
I think the
about
term might
to-
just be always someone better, as in there's always someone better than you,
Here, let me try that.
and it's this guy.
Yeah. I think that might be it. But anyway, but yeah, Technoblade reminds me of that character trope specifically. Just like, especially his initial introduction into the SMP, because, I think it was literally like Tommy in it was fighting people. And they're like, well, how do you think you possibly beat all of us? And then Technoblade goes, and no, sorry, and then Tommy in it goes, I have a Technoblade, and then Technoblade just comes out of nowhere. Just beats them all because he's Technoblade. That's, I agree with him. Down with the governments in the SMP. They brought nothing but trouble. Besides, he has a ton of dogs.
He has so many dogs.
I love dogs so much. Yeah, I do agree with you though, because like a lot of the Minecraft streamers and YouTubers that were a part of the SMP were trying to relate to a younger audience. And at least at the time, the younger audience really liked loud and sudden and excited. And so, you got Tommy in it screaming his head off the whole time.
He's just an excitable guy, I'm pretty sure, but
I think he's actually mellowed out in the past few videos I've seen, but
well, sure. He's not like fucking 15 anymore.
Yeah. It may also be due to certain things that have happened in recent months, but
We're here to talk about the stories themselves.
That's
not...
why I'm not going into it. Anyway.
Saying that to the audience, if there's anyone watching this.
Yeah, we are not a drama channel. If you want to know, go look up a drama channel.
We have...
Or just go look it up on Twitter or something.
And so we're not gonna talk about it.
Yeah, no, that is...
We're too old for drama.
We're too old for drama.
Wow. I suppose what I also liked about that perspective is just like... It was so different from all the other ones, because everybody wanted their own little section, right? Everybody was like, I want a country, and I want a country, and I want to build fucking Las Vegas or something. I want to do blah blah blah, and they wanted their own little domains, and then Technoblade's over here like, reject government.
What if I dedicate my piece of the plot arc pie to trying to kill all of you?
What if my plot is just fuck the government? What if that's just me? What if I just commit mass amounts of arson, and by arson I mean spawning a bunch of monsters in your town that'll blow it up? It added a bit of chaos to everything. Which, as chaotic as that plot was, I liked that chaos specifically.
A lot of the rest of the plot chaos arose from the fact that there were so many people doing so many things.
Yeah, it's like when, it's like, you know those anime? You know those anime that have like 50
I got this new
characters?
anime plot, yeah.
Yeah, but they have like 50 characters, and it gets to a point where like you're mixing them all up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, and and you're not necessarily mixing them all up because it's like all of these streamers are actual people and they're all very different from one another. But like it's a lot to keep track of. It's like oh, Lily is doing this plot and Sandra's doing this plot and Timmy has this plot over here, and at some point you're just like, I have no idea what's happening. Like, I guess that's another thing I liked about Technoblade's streams. He didn't know what was going on half the time. Like he wouldn't stream as much as everyone else because everyone else would be streaming like every other day or once a week or something, and then Technoblade would be over here like maybe in a month. Maybe. I feel like it. And so he would come in after a month of not existing and everything would be different. And so the first like half of his stream is just him walking around going, "What happened? What happened?
I've been gone on vacation again.
I've just been in the wilderness. What's going on?" And it was very helpful actually to me because I'm not gonna watch everyone else's perspective. I'm not insane. And so he would just go around and ask basically for me, and I'd be like, I know what's going on now, kind of. But yeah, there was a lot of like, I think another issue, the Dream SMP sort of suffered from is like, it's not power creep, I don't think, but it's essentially the plots kept escalating.
I think you would call that scope creep in this case.
Okay, yeah, scope creep, where like it started like we said, it started as just elevated streamer drama in a server, and it went from that to there's a book that revives people and
there's a whole like afterlife mechanic and
yeah, and Tubbo's over here like, I have nuclear bombs. And you're just like, what?
I've made nuclear weapons, apparently.
I guess there was a whole. This was after I stopped watching after the unfortunate passing of real life Technoblade. Just because that was the perspective I watched, and well, he was gone, so.
There was this whole thing going on with this giant egg made of flesh or whatever that was like corrupting people.
God, yeah, they had that I barely understood. There was the plot. There was the whole thing with Dream, where he
any plot that Dream was involved in, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, like it. It's kind of funny to me that he basically made himself the villain. And I'm just like, huh. It's so weird how that, because like, okay, again, if we're just talking like a text roleplay where you're just like typing back and forth with a friend with a bunch of characters, right? Like, it makes perfect sense. Lock the villain away for a while. When it's an actual person who's like supposed to be like doing shit and like playing the game, it's like, where did you go? This is your SMP. What are you doing? You own the server.
He's chilling in jail.
Chilling in jail. And I mean, eventually they threw people in there with him so he could say shit, but like, before that,
they would occasionally have bits where the warden, whose name I forget, would interact with him, or people would visit him in jail.
Yeah, but like otherwise he's just fucking room. Could you imagine if he tried to stream that?
I think a stream that's like 5 hours of silence interrupted by occasional like him just like sitting in the thing that is like a quote unquote toilet would have actually been really funny.
That would have been really funny, but that didn't happen.
No, no, I don't
instead
think
he
it did.
was just gone.
I think here's the thing about the novel thing about something like this, where you have so many different perspectives, is that whatever perspective you watch essentially becomes the hero, or at least the protagonist, and their motives become a lot more sympathetic because of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue that then crops up is that you lose the benefit of having a clearly defined antagonist. Everyone is either an antagonist to someone else or the protagonist of their own story. And that can work really well in like a novel or a movie or a video game where you have like, these are our 3 perspectives and these stories intersect in this way. And also all those things are scripted, so it's like you don't actually have the problem where you're improvising things on the fly, because improv gets sticky, it gets real fucking fucked up real fast.
There's a reason that improv is usually for comedy.
Especially when you have so many different perspectives and so many different things all happening at once, you end up with so many different people being the protagonists of their own part of the plot, and other people being the antagonists of that part of the plot, and it's like, what is even happening anymore?
Yeah.
Who is the antagonist? Is there some kind of like a greater narrative going on? Or is there just like 17 different tangential plot arcs that are all vaguely held together by toothpicks and glue?
I mean, okay, I guess with that in mind, that might be why Dream stopped sort of streaming his perspective. Because then it's like, you can't look at it through his perspective. You can't sympathize anymore.
I think he did actually say that at one point, where he's like, my character is supposed to be the villain from this point on, so
Yeah.
I'm not streaming the server from his perspective anymore.
Yeah, so I guess then, yeah, that makes sense if that's the thought process. As much as I don't want to agree with that person. Anyway. Trying to think if there's any other characters that like matter. Charlie Slimesicle.
Charlie Slimesicle.
Talk about a last-minute appearance.
He did just kind of show up one day.
He did just kind of show up one day, which was honestly the best way for him to show up because it was so fucking funny. Yeah. Slimesicle's like, what would you call that? Because the whole idea that Slimesicle went with was that he's this ooze that has been slowly evolving for like hundreds of years and has been observing everything the whole time. But like still doesn't understand like how humans work.
Oh.
Hmm?
No.
You know. And I'm trying to think of what trope that is.
Good.
I don't know. Hmm?
Good question.
Yeah. But yeah, I found I honestly found Charlie Slimesicle's story, as short as it was, kind of fun compared to everything else, because everything else, like, at this point was just so much. It was so complicated. And then you just had Slimesicle, who's just like, What's gambling? And then Quackity trying to like explain how to function. I just thought it was very silly, and it was a breath of fresh air. And that's the other thing. Quackity, from what I could tell, was basically very isolated in his little area. Like nobody else.
Yeah, I don't think there were many people else around where he was building Las Nevadas.
Yeah, and even then, like nobody else really lived in Las Nevadas. Like it was only
Mhm.
him, and so like when Slimesicle shows up, and then Quackity's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take this guy. I'm gonna get him to work with me." Um, what we essentially got was like a little side plot that like just focused on these two people, and it didn't focus on everyone at once. And it turned out to be a really cute story about this person, Quackity, who's like I at first picked up Slimesicle for entirely selfish reasons, and then ended up like actually caring about this pile of goo in a human form.
This fucking thing.
Yeah, and then the Slimesicle dies in a fire or lava. I guess he died in lava. And Quacky, I think he's trying to build him back. Obviously, that never came to fruition, as the Dream SMP is firmly done. um, and so, but yeah, I always liked that story, like sort of sub story, more than any of the other ones, just because it sort of got away from the um from the plot escalation while still just being a
Yeah,
good story, you know.
but it's like the kind of ways that we've done, and I say we as in the human species, have done the grand royal we. I've done stories that are made up of several smaller stories for a long time. It's exactly that. You have this part of the story that is focused on these two characters, or these two or three or four, maybe even five people, and it connects to the greater overarching plot in these little different ways. And that's it. And that works in those other things a lot simpler because again, it is scripted. It is a novel written by like one person who is writing all of those characters. Whereas in these cases, these are individual people who all have goals and plans for their characters who may or may not agree on where to take the plot next. Who may have ideas for their character that they want to do, but also other people have ideas for their same character to participate in this part of the plot in this way instead. And ultimately, who gets to decide who does that? It's the person who plays that fucking character.
Yeah.
Because they're the one who wields control over that part of the narrative.
it it's almost, to me, the Dream SMP is it's almost like if you had a D&D campaign,
Yeah,
but
because it is
like,
improvised.
yeah, it's almost as if you have a D&D campaign, but there's no GM,
No.
and everyone gets, and the characters get to decide what the plot's about.
Yeah, I really do think that as a long-term creative project, the Dream SMP could have benefited from like a director
Yeah, which
or
I
four.
yeah
At
I
least like
which
a group of people who are involved in it, who are still playing their characters, but are also like, these are the kinds of things we're gonna do, everybody.
no,
So we don't all split off into disparate ends of the world.
and I
Sorry.
think it's okay. And I think it started as that. I
I
think like
do
there
recall, I
were,
think, Wilbur being the one who did like technically direct a lot of things for the Lemamberg plot and like the revolution.
yeah, and even then, like I think it was like a bunch of like the quote unquote main streamers that were on the server like would basically be like, okay, this is sort of what we're all agreeing on doing, but at some point that level of control over the plot deteriorated, because I think like there were just too many people. Like there's only so much that a group of like 4 people can do
Mhm.
against a group of like 50. Like, and I it's it's why when you have, I don't know, an actual body of government, yeah, we have a president and like thousands upon thousands of people that operate the government. Because if it was just this one guy telling you what to do with no enforcement, are you gonna listen? Are you gonna go do your own thing? And so like there's only so much that you can do before it gets out of hand, and I think it just got out of hand. And eventually died. I also think that something that helped with its popularity at the time was the pandemic. Because everybody was stuck at home. You had nothing better to do. Might as well watch the streamer play Minecraft for 5 hours straight. Right? But then everybody sort of had to go back to school, go back to work, get back to doing their lives. Watch time went down because of it. And then everything derailed, and then watch time went even further down because of that. And then it ended. Forever. Gone. Reduced to atoms. Though I will say we got some sick ass animations though.
God, we got some sick ass animations
Sadist.
though. Fucking word out to sadist.
Sadist, you were a brilliant animator. You did a good job.
Your animatics are fucking incredible and made me care for a thing I had up until that point in time never seen anything about.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's just a lot.
It's just, I don't know where else to go, man.
I don't know either. Like, I know. And like I know there's other SMPs other than the Dream one. It's just I don't know enough about them to actually like talk about them. I just I just know that the Dream SMP was the biggest push for the sort of okay. Do I bring this up?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said, do I bring this up?
Oh, well, I mean, that's up to you.
Well, okay, cool. Do you remember when we attempted?
Yeah, I do, and it fucking failed, like, immediately.
Yeah,
It fell apart instantly.
it did. It did. But
I don't want to talk about it.
we don't have to. I'm just this was less me trying to talk about that and more about because there's only like one episode of it out on my channel. There's nothing there. But like it's less me trying to talk about it and more me trying to bring up the point of because of the massive popularity of the Dream SMP, it sort of paved the way for more SMPs to keep going or start or at least try to start. Because like I don't think we had the idea to try that until well after the Dream SMP had been cranking along.
No, we did not have that idea by ourselves.
Yeah. And so and it's like a lot of them did fail, much like ours did. But some of them are still going, and so they're doing pretty okay. And I feel like I think it's just it spawned um a lot of new content in that vein, which is not probably ever going to be nearly as popular as what the Dream SMP was, but it's like it's similar. It's similar to like when you have a not a new concept, but like a concept for a TV show that gets like really popular all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Like
so I've got
everybody,
this new anime plot.
yeah, so got the Danny Planet. Everybody loves it, right? And so other people kind of look at that and they don't try to copy it, but they look at the core idea and they go, "Oh, we could do that."
What if this but good?
Yeah, what if we did that? And so they go and they do it, and it's interesting to see, just to see how people look at this massive chaos and go, okay, so I can pull something good from this, and I can make my own thing, and I can make it better. And it's just and I guess that's just what the internet is. It's somebody makes something, it gets really popular, and then everyone else is like, I can pull from this and do something with it. And the cycle continues indefinitely. But like, with the Dream SMP's impact specifically, I just found it interesting because a lot of times when that happens, it's not to do something cool with it, it's to make a profit, right? So people will look at something, go, ooh, a new trend, and they'll try to make money off of it by trying to make a viral video, by trying to do that thing. Whereas with a lot of the SMP RP stories, a lot of them are just like, hey, I have this group of streamer friends. We all like playing Minecraft. We could just do this for fun. Because this actually looks really fun. And like, I'd have no doubt in my mind that regardless of how hectic and chaotic the Dream SMP was, almost everyone was having fun.
Yeah.
Everyone was having a blast. Because it really is just a roleplay server.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is just a roleplay server. And they just happen to be recording and broadcasting their roleplay server to a massive audience. Yeah. Which means it can be criticized like a piece of media, but at the end of the day, they're just roleplaying.
Yeah.
And like, I certainly wouldn't want every roleplay I've ever done to be broadcasted on the internet and picked to pieces personally, because a lot of them are bad.
Yeah. Well, it's like...
because it's just fucking shitting around.
Yeah. And it's like, if you try to look at the Dream SMP less in the narrative perspective and more just in the friends role-playing perspective, then it's fine. It's perfectly fine, because like they're just role-playing. Calm down.
Yeah.
But like, I suppose the issue that the Dream SMP ran into is that with their sort of push more into slightly more scripted stuff and as improv as it was, like doing character arcs that were sort of planned out, like people, the audience started to see it less as a role play and more as like a narrative, as a piece of media, as a story. And so like people started to treat it as such, which may be why they kept pushing further into that and escalating the plots and stuff. And which inevitably resulted in its demise. But it's like, if they had just stuck with, oh haha, we're just having fun with our friends and role playing and blah blah blah, it probably would have lasted a little bit longer. I mean, like I said a few months ago, stuff happened. Maybe not, but it wouldn't have died due to people getting fed up with the story.
Yeah.
I don't think, because if it's, like I said, if it's just fun, silly roleplay time, you're not gonna be sitting there like, but the lore!
The lore did become a major draw. I gotta admit, this is a thing that I think I've mentioned very briefly in the past on podcasts, that like bugs me about the way that some people currently are choosing to engage with media, where it's like, but the lore! And it's like, buddy, I hate to break it to you, but not everything's about the lore.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's like a theme or something going on. Have you
Yeah.
heard of themes? Have you been to English class recently?
God, the sheer amount of videos I had seen, like, of what I'm assuming are teenagers, which is like, they're teenagers, whatever.
They're allowed
Like,
to be kind of stupid.
they're allowed to be dumb. Children are dumb. That's okay. They're supposed to be. That's the whole point. And so, like, you know, like I've seen so many videos of these people like looking like analyzing every pixel of these people's streams in the Dream SMP and going like, oh God, look,
What does it mean?
look at Tommy and its face on frame 4,367. This means that blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, chill the fuck out. It's Minecraft. It's like, and I guess this sort of ties back into my comment of like one of the issues with making the characters just a slightly different version of you is that especially teenagers who are, you know, prone to latching onto a famous person like they're their goddamn sibling. They're just kind of like, I know I know everything about this person's lore, and it's like there's there's a connection in their mind between the actual person and the character that shouldn't be there. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot begin to explain to you the sheer amount of people who thought that Technoblade was an actual anarchist.
I mean, that is the kind of thing that we can say with hindsight is like, that might have not been a good idea in the long term, but like at the beginning, they had no idea it was going to get so fucking huge, and it makes logistical sense for people who are maybe not used to doing like performance, to at least that kind of role-playing performance,
Mm-hmm.
to be like, yeah, we'll just use our real names for ease of convenience. We already use them in our like fucking public life.
Yeah.
On the internet, so
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I get that, but I feel like in my mind there was no attempt to sort of dissuade that perception, right? Like,
it would be difficult to.
it would be difficult to, but I feel like at least an attempt to do so would like have helped a lot.
There was
Because
sort of an attempt to do so. That's why, after a while, you see people, instead of referring to the characters by the same exact name that they share with the creators, they start referring to them as. This is something I noticed. I noticed this shift happen in the fandom at one point after it was specifically requested to happen. In fandom, there's a thing referred to as a bang, and it's just an exclamation point, but it essentially goes between like a word and a letter and the character to essentially refer to a different concept, a different conceptual idea of that character.
okay.
And so the way that people started referring to in text posts about the Dream SMP characters was with C exclamation point name, as essentially referred to as character name or canon name, things like that, to try and distance it from the creator. But it was kind of too little too late because it had already happened.
Yeah. I just I guess that must have happened out, or I just didn't pay attention. I don't know. But like every instance I saw of people talking about the Dream SMP when I was paying attention to it, like there was no distinction. There was no separation. Technoblade is Technoblade. What are you talking about? You know, and it's just like, okay, I don't hate to break it to you. I don't know what else to say about it. This It's a lot.
Me neither, honestly.
Yeah, it's just.
We can't go over the whole fucking plot because there's too much. We can't
Yeah.
we can't do the YouTuber review thing.
I mean, we could spend the next 6 episodes doing that, exclusively that.
No.
I'd rather die. Anyway.
Yeah, you said it, man.
Yeah, I guess it also doesn't help in hindsight with like a lot of the people involved being outed as not so great people, which that does nothing to do with the story, but you know, it makes it a lot harder to go back to a piece of media and watch it when you know someone who was involved with that piece of media was not that great of a person. It tends to ruin it in the worst way possible. It's like,
It also makes it, make more of that piece of media because, you're losing members.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess it's time for the end of the episode.
Yeah, I guess so.
Any closing remarks, Cole? Cool.
No.
Creeper. Oh man.
So we back in the podcast.
Swinging our words from side to side.
Side to this task a grueling one. Hope to find some diamonds tonight. Night. Diamonds tonight. Subscribe. I didn't look up the lyrics on Google just for you to not do that.